The Boston Celtics are on an absolute tear. A flawless road trip, a dominant winning streak, and a record-breaking season in the making. Can anyone stop them? The Celtics just wrapped up a perfect road trip, proving once again why they're the team to beat this season. From clutch performances to historic milestones, Boston is making a statement loud and clear. With their sights set on the playoffs, could this be the year they rewrite history? Let's break down their incredible run and what it means for the future. On Monday night, the Boston Celtics finished their 6-game road trip in style by facing the Memphis Grizzlies in the center of Tennessee. Riding the high of an 8-game victory run, the Celtics walked into the FedEx Forum like a band on tour, hoping to play their greatest hits one final time before flying home. The Grizzlies, on the other hand, were still getting used to life under interim coach Tuomas Lizalo and had only their second under his supervision. Though Memphis fought valiantly, Boston won a rock-solid 117-103 to finish the road trip with a flawless 6-0 record. Not bad for a bunch of men who likely haven't unpacked their bags in weeks. In a surprising turn, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla started Xavier Tillman for the first time this season, a fascinating twist, given Tillman had spent the previous few years playing for, well, the Grizzlies. Tillman, ready to make his former team regret ever releasing him, stepped in as a power forward with Luke Kornet and Jaylen Brown missing and joined Kristaps Porziņģis. Always one to get the party going, Porziņģis missed his first mid-range shot but quickly made up for it by sinking a three-pointer to put Boston on the board. Tillman, who wasted no time either, knocked down 2 free throws before rejecting his former teammate Jaren Jackson Jr. with the fervor of a man who just discovered his ex still has his favorite sweatshirt. Jayson Tatum was able to get in on the action early on by making his first 2 attempts as both teams attempted to quicken the tempo of the game. Al Horford came off the bench and started shooting back-to-back three-pointers right away during this period. He seemed to have drunk another cup of espresso. Despite the Celtics' early aggression, Memphis was able to keep their pace. Desmond Bane's strong beginning at Jackson Jr. and Ja Morant's support helped to make this feasible. A quick 7-0 run by the Grizzlies put them in control. After 12 minutes of back-and-forth play, the home team led 32-25 over the visiting team. Ja Morant then made a quarter in which he asked himself, how many trick shots can I make? It was the star guard for the Grizzlies who started the second quarter with a turnaround hook shot, and then he nonchalantly banked in a three-point shot from the top corner of the backboard. It's not a huge deal. However, Boston was not going to allow Morant to turn the game into a highlight reel for his own personal accomplishments. Both Horford and Sam Hauser responded with three-pointers of their own, which helped to maintain the high level of competition. Morant had 16 points and an 8-point advantage for Memphis in the middle of the third quarter. Realizing it was time to take charge, Derrick White sank his first three-pointer of the night, officially tying Isaiah Thomas's record for the most three-pointers made in a single season for the Celtics, which currently stands at 245. The Memphis Grizzlies were up 12 points for a brief period. Boston responded with a 10-2 run, led by Porziņģis making his third three-point jumper of the evening, which gave the C's the lead. When the score was 57, Jrue Holiday banked in a floater and displayed a cool head and collected demeanor. Both White and Porziņģis made layups. Tatum had added a smooth turning jumper to his score by the time the halftime break arrived, bringing his total to 17 points. Boston's offensive explosion in the second quarter led them to outscore Memphis by a score of 41-29, so altering the direction of the game and going into halftime with a 66-61 lead. Since Memphis came out fighting in the third quarter, all the words whispered in the locker room of the Memphis Grizzlies during the halftime break must have been truly impactful. The home team took the lead back 71-66, and a scorching 10-0 run had the Celtics reeling. Holiday's three-pointer was the only thing that could stop the bleeding. It ended Boston's painful scoring drought and revived their forward momentum. Enter Al Horford, who continued to play like a man possessed. He drained another three, then bulldozed his way to the hoop for his 18th point of the night, an impressive total for a guy who's supposed to be taking it easy. Holiday, perhaps inspired by Horford's energy, went on a personal three-point barrage, draining 3 in the quarter and racking up 11 points in the frame. By the time the dust settled, the Celtics had 4 players in double figures, led by Tatum's 23 points and 12 rebounds. Boston held a solid 92-85 lead heading into the fourth. The final quarter was a classic case of both teams throwing haymakers. White hit a record-breaking 246 three-pointer over Zach Edey, officially cementing his name in Celtics lore. Not to be outdone, Morant tried to mount a Memphis comeback, but a careless foul on White, well beyond the arc, gifted Boston 2 free throws, stretching their lead back to 12. With 7 minutes left, Peyton Pritchard got in on the act, sinking his first three of the night, while Tatum took a much-needed breather on the bench. The Grizzlies had one last one in them, cutting the lead to single digits at 110-101 with 4 minutes to play. Tatum, clearly fed up with Memphis's persistence, let his frustration show and picked up a technical foul during Boston's brutal 4.5-minute scoring drought. But just when it seemed like the game might slip away, White stepped up, burying a corner three to push the lead back into double digits. With that, Boston slammed the door shut on the Grizzlies, putting an exclamation point on an undefeated road trip. Xavier Tillman's return to Memphis was nothing short of sentimental, as the veteran big man made his first appearance since March 6th and did so against the very team that drafted him. The Memphis crowd welcomed him back with a warm ovation, a nod to the 3.5 seasons he spent battling in the paint for the Grizzlies. Tillman, inserted into the Celtics starting lineup in a surprise move, wasted no time hustling on the glass alongside Kristaps Porziņģis. However, the basketball gods weren't as kind, as he proceeded to miss all 5 of his wide-open three-point attempts. If the rim had a voice, it might have begged him to reconsider. Despite the shooting struggles, Tillman moved well, showing signs of improvement since sitting out the previous week with a sore knee. In just 8 minutes of action, he managed 2 points and provided some early energy, but it was clear why he's been on the outside looking in when it comes to Boston's rotation this season. While Tillman's shooting didn't exactly inspire confidence, Jrue Holiday's resurgence continued to be a bright spot for the Celtics. March has been his month, as he's playing his best defensive basketball of the season, and against a Memphis defense that practically dared him to shoot when they met earlier this season, he made sure they regretted it. Holiday drained a team-high 4 three-pointers, continuing his aggressive approach that has forced defenses to rethink how they guard him. When Jrue is attacking, Boston's offense becomes even more dangerous, and his confidence has been contagious. He's now scored in double figures for 3 straight games and has done so 7 times in March, making it his most productive month of the season. Turns out, letting a former All-Star get comfortable was a mistake for opposing teams. Speaking of comfort, Al Horford looked like a man who had just come back from a luxurious vacation, refreshed and ready to dominate. Boston gave him the night off against the Spurs, and whatever he did with that extra time off worked wonders. Against the Grizzlies, Horford erupted for a season-high 26 points and tied his career high by nailing 6 three-pointers. Memphis's bigs foolishly sagged off him in the perimeter, and Horford made them pay every single time. It was his 3rd straight game in double figures and an absolutely clutch performance with Jaylen Brown sidelined due to knee soreness. If this is what Horford looks like after a little extra rest, the Celtics might want to start treating him like fine china and keeping him fresh for the playoffs. The Celtics as a whole are playing their best basketball at the perfect time. This road trip wasn't just impressive, it was historic. Boston's 6-0 swing marked the best road trip in franchise history, topping the 72-73 Celtics' 5-0 run. And they didn't just scrape by in these games, they dominated, winning each contest by double digits. It wasn't just about stacking wins, it was about making a statement. The 9-game winning streak they're riding is the longest of their season, and they've now claimed victory in 14 of their last 15 matchups. With 2 road games remaining in New York and Orlando, Boston still has a legitimate shot at matching the best road record in NBA history at 34-7. No pressure, right? With the playoffs just weeks away, this Celtics team is rounding into form at exactly the right time. They're getting contributions from all over the roster, rediscovering their shooting touch, and showing the kind of grit that championship-caliber teams are made of. The league has been officially put on notice. This Boston squad isn't just good, they're out to make history. The Celtics are firing on all cylinders, but can they keep up this insane pace? Will this historic run propel them to banner number 18? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know if you think this team is destined for greatness. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest Celtics coverage.